Okay, in this final part, I just want to discuss how the Python programs can be used from the internet. And the idea is that someone fills in information in a web page. That information can be sent across the internet to your Python program, and the program then does some processing with that data and returns a result. And it returns the result as a web page, which can then be displayed in the browser. So the browser is acting as a user interface. Now, in order for this to work, you need to get a web server and install that on your computer. And the recommended one for Python is the Abyss web server, which you can download directly here. The free web server, Abyss web server X1, and you have a simple installation script that just installs, and you should then be able to run Python through this server. Now, the server, when it's installed, will have a location like this: Abyss web server, Windows C, Abyss web server, and in the htdocs folder is where you create your web pages and the programs that respond to them. Now, you write web pages in HTML. It's a simple notation for writing documents that are going to be displayed in a browser. So here we have a form, and this form is to compute a cube, and we enter in information here, which is the integer to be cubed. That's going to be in the field 1, text field, and we have a button to submit that. And then separately we have the cube.py, which is a Python program that reads the field 1 and generates the result web page. How does this work? Well, cube.py is a standard Python program, but with the addition that it gets data from the request, from the web request, and it does that by means of the CGI-TB libraries and this statement, which gets the data that's been sent from the form or from the web page. And then you can get individual items by saying data get value, where the field 1 is the same as the field in the web page. I've got the web page here also. Cube form. It's just a web page. You can open it with a text editor as well as with a browser. And the field that's entered there is called field 1, and I retrieve that field in this program. Then I need to print back the result web page, and I print that just as a series of strings that form a web page. And the variable part of that is here, where I'm printing out the cube of the integer that's taken from the field. These are strings, like data you enter in a console. These are strings. They need to be converted to integers to be computed to do computations like this. And this is just then printing out the web page. So what happens if I open up this in a browser? So open up CubeForm in a browser. It's very, very simple form. I can enter the number that I want. That's going to be in this field 1 variable, and I submit it. This then is passed to the program. How do I refer to that program? Well, in the web page, I refer to it as localhost http localhost cube.py. So the action of this form that's invoked when I press the submit button is to point the browser to this, and the server interprets that as a request to execute this program. I can, of course, try different numbers. I can go back to my page. I can enter another number like 77, let's say, and I end up with a different number. So that's the simple kind of idea of processing data. Essentially, any kind of data can be put in through this means. I can have a number of different fields here. Typically in a form you'd have any number of these input fields, which can be text or other kinds of input items. So we have a form, and we have the Python code which computes the result, and we generate the result. Now other items can be used in the form. For example, we can have checkboxes, and then we can test the data in the same way. The data that's been submitted, we can test the agree field. The name of each field is used as the variable name or the attribute name in Python. Radio buttons also, again, when they're radio buttons for the same bit of information, then they're named in the same way. And options, I've got another example here of options. Options form, which is essentially what's on this slide. We have a selection list. That gives us an option like that, and the program will tell us what option we selected, and the program is written like this. Again, get the data, get the value of the options input, which is now a selection list, and print out what the value is. This name options applies to the whole selection list. However many values I have there, I could have more values, of course. Okay, so that is a useful mechanism to do programming over the web. Remember that you can download Python from python.org. You can get updates. It's now version 3.9 of Python, but it will increase in due course. And you can also get the examples from my own homepage as actual files, which you can then use and modify as you need. Okay, well, I hope you've found this useful, and we will probably have some more courses in the future, and keep in touch, and we'll keep producing this material. Thank you for attending.